And the funny thing is, we all are cousins on the same side too. This
Oh,
time
really?
around.
I was wondering that.
So yeah.
So you're gonna jump me?
No, so her mother is our first cousin. You know, so our parents are all siblings. So my dad and her granddad and her mother were siblings.
I'm the second cousin. They're the first cousin. They were my mom.
You know, sadly, we lost both of them. My dad is still living, but we lost her grandfather and her mother. Yeah, but that's what this episode is about: living life and living without regret, and even without regrets that we have. So, do y'all agree with me? Do y'all think that everybody really does have a regret?
Yes, I agree.
You do?
Yes, I have regret.
Yeah, I have a lot of regrets too.
Yeah, I have one specifically. It's basically about a love interest that I knew was wrong, but I still jumped into the frying pan with no lid. So I definitely do regret that. I don't regret, the beautiful thing that did come up, but I do regret dealing with this person.
She wanted to say the word.
She could curse.
Yeah, I did.
Let it out. Let it out.
Yeah, this motherfucker. That's what I regret.
Here we go. Don't it feel good too when you let it out?
I do.
That motherfucker! That's how you really want to do it.
Yeah, no.
Well, honestly, that is.
We all regret something.
And you know what? I agree.
You might not want to say it, but it's something that we all wish we would not have done or should have done.
But you know what the silver lining is in that is that we always say that it made us stronger people, it made us better individuals, it did all of those things for us. And I guess that is. But it is, I try to think about what would have been if I had made a different choice.
Yeah.
Like, what would life have been if I had made a totally different choice? And I wonder, do a lot of people think that?
You don't got time?
It's so funny. It's so funny. I had a question with my mom. I had a conversation with my mom. Actually, recently, I said, "Mom, what did you really want to do in life? Like, what was your ultimate goal?" I think I've talked to you about that. And I said, and she was like that she wanted to be a nurse. And I was like, well, what stopped you? She was like, well, I got married and I had, your sister and your brother. And then, I just started working. I was a single mom after he left and did all that. And then it was just like, wow, what really would have been had you just said, I'm not going to get married. I'm going to just go ahead to school, be a nurse, and live my life. Like, what would have? Like, and it's like, a part of me was like selfish. I probably wouldn't have been here. But the other part of me was like, damn, I wish that would have happened for her. Because if anybody's more deserving of that, it would be her.
Right.
And I always think about that shit. Like, it's crazy.
Do you think she regrets it, though?
So, you know how sometimes I don't think that, I know that she don't, because everything that she does is for her children. Everything that she do, like, it's always something you got to be in mind of them, and she's so proud. So if you ever even, talk to her, she'll bring up us in some kind of way. Well, King is here, Phil's there, Maurice did this, or whatever like that. So you could tell that that's what her life is about. But I know sometimes she probably say, I wish, because sometimes she'll be watching stuff on TV and then she'll bring it up. Like, oh, that I would have did that. Oh, I would have did that.
Well, she regrets it.
Yeah, so I know. And that's what I said.
I think it's a hint of regret.
But she doesn't want you guys to think, because she wants you to think that you guys were mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So she's not going to actively tell you.
Well, I know.
But trust me, she regrets it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
She
absolutely,
regrets
I know it is. And I know it is. And that's just for anything. What about y'all? Y'all already, y'all younger than the other bunch, but are y'all there? Are y'all still feeling that?
I'm in your mother's boat because, I did graduate from college, and at a time I wanted to be a doctor. I regret not continuing school when I should have, but I had my 2 little kids, so I don't regret having them. But now I'm back in school trying to be a nurse. Mm-hmm. So, like, even though for me a nurse is not like a step down, but I always dreamed of being a doctor since I was 8. So I felt like if I wouldn't have stopped and had my kids, then I would more likely be graduating, but to be a doctor right now instead of just starting off trying to be a new mom and be a nurse, just trying to put my feet in it. But that's really...
But you don't regret.
I think it's the word
that makes us feel like
certain choices
so
along
negative.
the way I would have did differently.
Right.
So I can see that.
But there's just no other way to put it. You know
So
what I mean?
regret.
When you start thinking about it, it's just like, you try to find so many words to sweeten it up so you don't feel bad about the ultimate choice.
We have to define it.
But,
so I'm thinking if we use the word regret, people need to understand that if I use the word regret, that it doesn't mean that I wish that, you know, what my current situation is. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing or it's negative or, you know what I mean? If I say I regret something, it's just that I'm speaking about what did not happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The
I'm
path
not
that I
speaking
didn't
of
take.
what is.
Exactly. Yeah, like I said, you know, I don't regret having my child, but I do regret how the steps got to where, you know, I had to conceive them. So, you know, so, I mean, those things, I understand what you're saying. But do you have any regrets or anything that things that you've done?
I have plenty. I have plenty. I've to be honest with you, I regret people I've slept with. I regret people I regret like choices I've made. I even regret how I handled certain situations. You know what I mean? And then some things, once it's out there, you can't get it back. You done said it, and it's out there. So I mean, I do regret a lot of that stuff. So I'm not one of those people that is ashamed of that, though. I'm not ashamed. So a lot of people, I think, are ashamed of their regrets or some way feel insecure about their regrets. But I'm not one of those people. I can honestly say what I did, and I'm okay with it. I've accepted it because I know I made out all right. And then, you know what I mean? It wasn't like I'm living a horrible life. I'm not where I could have been, of course, but I'm definitely where I need to be. I need to be, because had I would have been where I wanted to be at that time, I wouldn't have been prepared. Because now I've learned so much over the course of these years that it's like, damn, you ready now. Like, so if it happens for you now, Breach, you got that shit and you own that motherfucker. Because you got it. Like, and that's what it is. You got to be able to get to that point in your life.
So I think that talk about, like, when we said defining regrets, I'm one of them people. I walk around, I have no regrets. And even sitting at this table, I say that. But it's how you classify it. Like, every regret that I might have, I call it a lesson. Because if those events did not happen, I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
And that's what all people say. That's the crazy part, Tiberius. That's like that's what I was saying. Like, I feel like everybody kind of cushions it, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's a way that we just soften the situation.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking. So let me dig into what you said. I get where you're coming from, but like Murray said, is that you just making it a cushion for yourself so that you can accept it a little bit better?
So I think it's two ways to approach it. One, exactly how I said it. It's a lesson. The other one is it really hurts you. And that's when it's a regret, not a lesson. It really hurts you. It really did something to you. You wish you would have did something different. But and this is not everybody, and I'm telling you it's not everybody because I've seen people went through. I can personally say everything I went through, it's a lesson for me. Now, do I wish it wouldn't have happened? Yes. However, if I'm faced with it again, I'm like, nah. I done already seen how the cards play. Yeah. It's just like, okay, so in our culture, we like to play spades, right? We know not to drop the joker on the first hand.
Right.
But how do you learn that? You learn that when your grandfather jumped down your throat screaming at you the first time you play the cards, right? So that is a lesson for me. Not that I want that to happen, no. But it was a lesson for me. So I think that pending the event, it hits everybody differently. There are people that have real regrets. And I mean, I can narrow down about 2 or 3 events that I really wish never happened. But in the same sense, it's like that event will never happen to me again because I already know it. You know what I mean?
So those is basically what he's saying is that's the regret, because here's the thing, like I said, because every regret does not have to hurt. It's not even like this is something that was a pain or this is something that's bothering me. It's just certain things that I just wish I didn't do. Like at the end of the day, like I had a DUI. It was a fun time. I had a ball, actually, when you think about it in the long run. But yes, I wish it didn't happen. Yeah. So it doesn't even, necessarily have to be that. Because I don't actually think that any regret that I've had has caused me any, like, pain or any type of, like, I'm losing sleep at night. It's just something that I just wish didn't happen because I would have had a different outcome. You know what I mean? Or something just would have went different, or something like maybe I would have graduated sooner if I hadn't withdrew. Because I wasn't feeling school at the time. Those regrets. Like that kind of regret. Like it wasn't, I can't say like, oh, I'm hurt. I mean, because I went to go get a job. So it wasn't like, oh, I went to go, lie on the couch and when I withdrew from school. No, I went to go work. So it was just, I couldn't do both. So, but that was a regret. I would have been done 3 years before I even got out. So, It is. It's a different, thing. I wouldn't say that all regret has to be a painful memory. So even if it's like a regret, it's just something that we wish we would have just did differently. So that brings me to how do we start enjoying life as it is, where we pick up from.
Well,
Like, how do you start? What do you do?
Well, I had to learn and figure that even though I wanted to blame the person, that I had to regret with, I couldn't because ultimately it was my decision.
Yeah.
So that took me a long time to learn that because I always like you, but it was me because I chose to do it. Even after.
Ooh, Quinta,
this
you brought up
person-
something good. That's good.
Yeah, even after this person showed me who they were, and I feel like, I was straightforward, truthful, and
That was good.
straightforward, and I told them, what my wants and needs and things, and I feel like I fell in the trap of, this might not be the topic, but a lot of these relationships is like they don't need to be in a relationship; they need therapy.
But that's, oh my God,
And
because we got to get
that
there.
was the thing.
God.
But
It was
Quinta,
like, yeah.
before you get there, because you said something good, which was that when regrets, you notice that when our regrets, before they turn into like our regrets, that's the things that we blame on other people 1st. It's like, that's always like the pinpoint factor that
Yeah.
you just said.
Pinpoint.
It don't become our regrets, and maybe until 5-10 years down the road, once we've dealt with the issue internally a little bit, now it's like, oh damn, now it's my regret. But before that was something that somebody did to me.
Right, 'cause you
That
did
is
to me.
something, yeah, that
You
you
did
did.
this to
You
me.
hurt me, you bothered me. That's something that I gotta
Right.
blame you for that. So that was a good point. And then what you was about to say, Rodney,
Oh no!
'Cause that was
off
something
topic.
good.
What you were saying, like, a lot of people don't need to be in relationships; they need to be in
therapy, the therapy
Right.
thing. It
I was
was,
like,
and I spoke about that. I spoke about that a few episodes ago. I said you can't. People have to get therapy. You have to, because you have to start knowing these things, specifically in the black community,
Right.
because we are fucked up. Like,
Because a lot of people
we
don't
are
want to
tore up.
acknowledge that they are. And a lot of people come from broken homes. Like, I come from a family with parents, grandparents, uncles and aunts, unity, unified people. And some people come in broken homes, They don't know anything about love. And that's where his problem was. So instead of me saying, I saw the red flags, and not to be that black woman, everybody talk about, you don't never give a brother a chance, because the brother this and that. So, I did that, but I knew that the motherfucker was crazy and he was screwed up. But I wanted to be that person to say, hey, I'm not going to, just choose this person and not choose him because of where he comes from. He didn't come from a home of love. He came from a home of survival. You know what I'm saying? So that trickled over into, now I found out, now I need therapy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you needed the therapy, and instead of me letting you go ahead and handle your stuff, now I need the therapy now. You know what I mean? And that's not
So
where I
did you
come
wish
from.
none of it ever happened, regret, or do you appreciate what the wisdom that it has given you?
I wish it
Wish
never
more.
happened.
Okay.
I wish it never happened. And I don't, like I said, I don't wish, the beautiful thing that was created out of this, you know what I'm saying? But I do wish that I did not.
deal with that,
That
yeah.
I turned that.
That's a true regret.
I went right.
When you
instead
can't
of
even
going
say,
left.
like, listen, I learned
Yes,
some stuff.
I do regret
No, I
that.
mean, everyone, that's
Still
what I can
to
say. I
this
honestly, I
day,
learned.
still to this day, and then that person tells me, well, you can't judge me, you can't hold that on. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Because not only did I specifically tell you, ask you, plead with you, it's like you went behind my back. Now, I didn't let you not do it one time, but you did it several times.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? You did it several times.
Yeah, that's
so that's
high
where I
regret.
wanted to, keep blaming that person. But again, it's my ultimate choice. It's my choice whether I can say, okay, well, I'm going to leave this person alone and not deal with him anymore instead of keep letting him do what he was doing to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
That's intense. That's intense because, when I think about the goodness of Jesus
Wow.
and all that He has done, say no, I'm playing,
Yes,
but
sir.
literally, like, because when you think about stuff that happens to you in life, you be like, wow, like this was, because it's a lot of different things that we just have to chalk off to. This was an experience that needed to be happened. I mean, that
Yeah,
needed to
some
happen,
things.
because I've learned, a couple of people that's been on the show, I went to Cheney with, and that was a lot of the experiences that I got for the first time happened there. Like, happened there. And not even just there, but happened, you know, around that time I was going there. So it was like, you know, even going home on the weekends, I was getting in trouble and going back up to school because I knew I could run to school and not have to deal with the trouble once I left Philly. So, and you start experiencing that. It's like, but if I didn't experience that, like, you know, where would life be? Because now I know what choices to make once I got into school later. And I took it seriously and was like, all right, I knew I partied. I had enough time in college. So now I ain't got to do nothing at this new school because I partied enough with 10 colleges.
Yeah,
actually. If I ain't do nothing up Cheney, I partied. Cheney, you owe me nothing. I actually owe y'all. Actually, because y'all gave me a party.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
So
But I think it's different with the regret when it's your problem. You know what I'm saying? It's an individual problem. But when you bring other people into the situation, then I think that's a little different.
Yeah.
Well, that goes to that question that Shawnice, you had asked us on that episode where you did the quiz with us. And you said, you know, who's more likely to stay in a toxic relationship. That also has to speak to your character, what you allow. Because some people leech off of your spirit. They leech off of you as a person. And people allow that stuff. Like, then you got to start checking yourself.
Right.
That's what I said. That's where you got to start doing some self-evaluation at that point. Because there's no way you deal with the same kind of person for 4 years straight. I'm sorry. And then you done complained about it. You done took it to Facebook. You done took it to your parents, your sisters, your best friend, your co-workers, everybody. And Jesus, and more importantly, and you still there. And you still there. And taking a picture of me and Bae, wine and everything, trying it again. You know, this is 50th date, not feeling it. Still not feeling it. But we will try. So it's just like, wow. Like, but that's...
Yeah, that was a good point, though. Like,
it is.
A regret of something that's personally about me that I've done, fine. But, like, when I'm in a situation with you've made me regret something, now that's not cool. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, you have brought me into your circle.
Right.
And then, you know what I mean? And then, you know what I mean? That's your bubble. That's your circle. If you bring me into your life, you just ought to treat me a certain kind of way. So I feel you with that.
Exactly. And how I feel, why it makes me so angry, because now I am that angry black woman. You know what I'm saying? I am. You know, my mother passed away in a car accident. So, you know, and I saw everything that happened. I was driving behind her. And, you know, when I met this person, I told him, I was like, listen, you know, I've been through a lot. You know, this is what happened. My mom passed away. You know, XYZ. He knew the whole rundown. I'm like, listen, this is not what you want. This situation, you know, be upfront or whatever. And it was just like, they just kept piling the stuff on. And it's like, you're that cruel, you know what I'm saying? After I gave you an opportunity, and then I expressed my feelings to you, and I told you what happened, and you still did me the way you did. So, yes, I'm holding you accountable for that, for what happened. You know what I mean? But, again, like I said, I had to come to the realization that it was my fault because as we're all given choices, you know, as individuals, when we're born here, we're all given a choice to make. And it was my choice. I could have walked away, but I did not. So that's where that's.
We know that's her biggest regret.
No, that's my only.
That's her only. What?
You listen, like you said, things are lessons. You know what I mean? You go through
but
things
y'all
to
even
learn.
have like
but
small
that's a
regrets,
regret.
like fucking somebody that you shouldn't have been fucking. Like none of y'all got that.
No,
like that's the littlest. That's like the y'all got these regrets.
What I mean?
Regrets don't always have to be because like regrets don't always have to be so big.
Right. So that's going back to what I said. You have to define the technicality of a regret. When you say regret to me, I mean like, oh, I should have never did that. Da, da, da. If I would have changed this one thing, it would have changed my entire life.
Okay.
Right.
I don't mean to say it like this, but fucking 2 or 3 people is not a regret.
But no, it's not about. It's just about.
To me, that's how I'm defining it. You know what I mean? Like. If you went ahead and did whatever.
No, you know what I'm saying? You know why I say that?
Unless you got a long-lasting effect.
It'd be like
that
somebody
be
that you've been texting for like 6 months and y'all supposed to hook up and you like, all right, damn, the only time you can meet right now is at like 2 o'clock and I don't really get off till 3, so I'm gonna leave my job an hour early. I get there, the sex is wet and this is shit is corny. So now it's
I regret
So
that.
now I regret doing all of that. Because that's what I mean. That was that happened.
Yeah,
it happens.
There's
like,
small little regrets.
Everything
ain't gotta be life.
Everything gotta be like it could be
No.
the
And that's
littlest
how I
of
look.
shit.
I look at it
that's a
as life
life-altering
altering.
thing. I think that that's something we need to go through to get to where we got to go. You know what I'm saying? With love. You know what I mean? We're all going to encounter some
But they ain't
some
even really
people.
love. This was just like we've been sexting for
Everybody
6
cannot
months.
be-
We've been sexting for 6
Everybody
months.
just can't be lucky to meet that one person out of high school and be in love with this person and they get married
that's
and
true.
have kids
Some of them-
and live. You know, no.
If I'd spent the time to say that, oh my God, I regret that every time it happened, I would literally be like, oh my God. Oh my, like it would be a lot. So sometimes I have to just decide, like, all right, you know what, that happened. I'm gonna just laugh.
Right.
I'm gonna just let it go. I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna try not to
You know what
regret
to do
it.
with the next
Yeah.
time. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think those are regrets.
They are
You know,
regrets
that-
though, when you
but-
think about it. When you think about it, because I just did. I mean, what was the point? Like, what was the point? That's when you start. If you gotta ask
The
yourself, what
point
was the point? It was
was
a
you were
regret.
trying to get some kuka.
And
That
then,
was the
and
point.
guess what happened?
We not
I
saying
regretted
cliche
it. But
again.
did you?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
Yeah.
gotta say
You just trying to- That's the whole point. That was your goal. Your
before
goal
everyone
was
starts
to get
saying,
some.
cool, they say, cool.
You got
yeah,
it,
but
but
when
you
it's
didn't like
trash,
it.
I didn't like it.
Okay, so
It's a regret. That's just like if you went to somebody's house and you'd be like, damn, I'm about to go there because I'm going to get some good food. I'm going to go to what's the name cookout. All the food is nasty. Damn, I should have stayed in bed. I done got dressed up and everything. The food is fucking terrible. So now it's like, that's a regret. It'd be regret.
That's because
I
in
wasted
your
my
mind,
time.
you put it in
It's
your
a
mind
waste
that the
of
food
time,
was going
not
to
a
be
regret.
good. Nobody said the food was going to be good. You said it was going to be
But
good.
it's now at this point
But
a
now,
regret,
exactly.
Quinta. But that's what I'm saying. It'd be
No,
the littlest stuff.
No,
Like,
you should be
damn,
mad at yourself,
if you
'cause
go.
you the one set yourself up
For failure.
for failure.
If you went
'Cause
out
you
there,
thought it was gonna
just
be
like
good.
if I say, "Damn, I'm gonna wear these green socks out here today." Like, oh, these green
Yeah,
socks
you
gonna be
should
so
already know the
fly.
top
I
of
don't
your
like
head
these
that's
green.
bad.
Next, you know, get out in the sun, and the green socks don't look like with your outfit. And you're like, "Damn, I regret wearing these green socks." Or you know, it's blistering cold outside, and you be like, "This is the day I ain't gonna wear my long johns." And now all of a sudden, it's an ice storm
That's a
outside.
scary regret.
Now that's a scary. And
Because I wear his long john.
That's just
And you
dumb.
just
And I've been trying to
decided not to
figure out,
say.
like, all right, I only got to go outside for a couple minutes.
What are we talking about?
What if I get at
Because
work
it
and
be
it's
the
hot?
little stuff you regret. You be like,
No.
damn, I should have put on some long
No.
johns.
No.
You know, you never knew how important a long john is.
No.
Now, you know what the word long john? Speaking of long john, who the
my
fuck is a long
God.
john? Like, why are those
What the hell is
named
a wife
after
beater?
him?
Wait.
Yeah, who? Because that's what they used to beat bitches with. Well, they wives with. I mean, they used to wet them up real good and wring them and whip them. But we gotta go back. We gotta go back to who the fuck is Long John? Don't you want to know where
Wait,
that come from?
does anybody else feel weird wearing them? I wear them, but I
No.
just be feeling weird. Like,
No.
what do I have on right now?
I would put
You
it
ever
on
look
there.
at yourself with them on before you put your jeans on?
Do you
You're
wear
like,
Long John?
this looks
What are we talking
stupid
about?
right now.
Tights?
Tights.
Ain't
Yeah,
tights?
long
No,
Tights.
girls don't mind doing it, but dudes like, you
No, I love Long
you,
John.
you don't feel like you like 3 years old?
No, I love a long
I
john.
wore a long
No, I love a
john.
long john.
Yeah.
I love a long john. John, you need a long john because it's cold outside, and I don't like being cold, so I love a long john. Like
I
you
love a
need
long
you
john.
a long, you need you a good.
Yeah, but I want you to know that you look weird in them.
Who looks weird in them?
We all do.
No, you look weird in them. I look. It's not. I'm trying to think of the things I may look weird in. I mean, I'm nothing's really coming to mind right
Diva.
now. But I'm trying to. What do I look weird in? Nothing. I'm just trying to think. You know what I mean? You know.
I'm over it.
You know, because one thing, like, I'm me like a salad,
I
I'll be
regret-
dressing.
Yo, good one. Since we talking
Ain't that a
about
good one?
since we talking about regrets, 16 years ago, I had a friend. And he passed away. But he's the one who introduced me to this one. And that was a regret, okay? Because my life could have been so much
Damn, we
further.
are still rocking.
We
And guess
still
what?
rocking.
Damn, Nate is behind the camera, bro.
That's so funny.
We
I'm
are all
here.
still rocking, bro. And Dom is here too, bro. We are all here. We are rest in peace, man. We love
And
you.
I
We
regret-
are all in the same room right
I
now.
regret you.
I'ma call Vaughn and find out where the fuck he at, but we gonna get this shit going. We love you. But anyway,
That is crazy, yeah,
but
I
I
agree with
regret
that.
meeting you as well.
Oh.
But
Squeeze that in.
really,
You guys are a mess.
yeah,
So
but
do any of you guys think about the opposite end? Like possibly causing regret to someone else?
well, I know I'm a toxic motherfucker, so if you fuck with me, you
We
stuck
already
with
know
me.
that.
If you
I
fuck
think-
with me, you
I
stuck
think
with me.
I
That's all I
definitely
want you to
have.
know.
I'll be honest. It doesn't make me feel good, but and I would hope not. But I am pretty sure that me, like,
You
throughout
grabbing that
this
last pretty
journey,
strong.
yeah, because yeah, that was a good one.
Because I will
Yeah, I'm
suck you
pretty
up
sure
like a
I
vacuum.
caused regret for somebody. Trying to figure out who you are,
That was
what
a
you want to
vacuum?
do. how to please, like how to, please yourself, but then please somebody else in the friendship or in a relationship,
Rodney,
all of that.
You saying, Rodney,
you
you saying please yourself is disgusting at this table right now. You done gave us a disgusting mental image that we all got to go home and drive home to tonight thinking about Rodney saying pleasuring himself. Oh, God.
I wasn't talking about pleasuring myself.
Oh, God. Oh, guys, aren't you sick? Give me a ball back. I know. Anyway, but you got a point, though. I get you, though. Because, honestly...
No, be honest. You made a lot of people regret some shit, didn't you?
I probably made one person in particular. One person in particular, I know that for a fact. And that
Why?
Because I was learning.
Go ahead and tell us.
I was
Yes, tell us. You've been
I was
talking to
learning.
me.
I was
Tell
learning.
us.
I was learning myself. So I'm not gonna lie to you.
Can you get the words out?
I am an alpha male. I will say that. I'm definitely a fire sign. I definitely am a fire sign.
He's a Sagittarius.
So I could be very.
Sag. Hey.
I could, yes, Edge is over here. But I can definitely say that. Like, I have dominated a lot of the situations. And a lot of times I've gotten to the point of, like, belittling. I remember I had this conversation with you where the last situation I was in, I take full responsibility for the belittlement. It's just the things that I would say. It was in my approach. And a lot of things I do stand by that I said, but it wasn't.
We are straightforward people.
It's just, I stand by what I said, right. But I could have been a little bit different. Like, I just could have been a little bit different. And I was just.
So you mean?
I can be. I can be.
No, we're not mean.
And it's scary, but I
We're
know
just
that I can
real.
be, Gwenda. I know that I can be. I've accepted that. Like, I've accepted that you. I'm not
You're
going to say
mean,
we're
I'm
not
not.
men. No, I'm not going to say. I wouldn't say that we're mean people. No. But I think that it is like a flip. Like, because for me, I'll say, I'm going to speak for myself, I'm a very, very impatient person. So because I'm very, very impatient, it is like the quickest thing. I'm done. Like, I'm done at this point. And then you can get it. And I got it for you. Like, that's how bad it is. Like, so I know it is. It's like a switch. Like, just don't.
Trust me, I already know.
Everything bugs me. So I try my best to just, like, stay in my own little cocoon sometimes because you know certain things bug you and you know certain people will bug you. Yeah. So you know in order for you to save friendships or to save face or even to have people to have respect for you, you want to just stay in your own neutral corner sometimes. So that's why you won't hear from me a lot because I know you're fucking bugging me. And I'm going to say it just like that. And we probably won't speak for a little while. That's why I say.
But how do you approach when you know that you have been a regret for somebody else? How do you approach it? Like, have you?
I've taken accountability.
Okay.
I've taken accountability. So for this one person we've apologized. I've spoken to that person. I've actually even had words for that person. Because I said, I've even forgiven them for the things that they've done to me. But I said, I know I have to take a little bit of blame in this because I know that you weren't the person that I met. And I know that I had a little bit to do with this.
Okay.
And mainly because, like we spoke with that whole time cheating thing, that was something that was found out at the end of our situation. And it was like, that took the situation domestic. So it was like, now once that came out, it was like the whole time, literally, and then you go in the drawer, go get a knife the whole time. Like, the whole time. So it's really like a crazy situation, but it's life.
Well, you guys enjoying your life.
I am enjoying my life, and I want everybody to enjoy their life. You have beautiful children. You have beautiful children and beautiful grandchildren.
Do you regret having 2 boys?
Well,
I wanted the girl, but I don't regret my second son. The first one, on the other hand.
Do you regret having a little girl?
No. No. That was the best decision God could have made. Yeah.
Well, y'all are
I don't know.
together.
I think that raising little girls is easier. What do you think? With boys, you think it's
Well, she's not raising a little girl.
Well, you wouldn't know. I guess you wouldn't know.
But
She raised a little
I'm
girl,
outnumbered.
and she's a
raised
grown
boy
woman.
and a girl.
So what?
I don't-
Anybody easier than the other?
Yeah, I think my daughter was the hardest. Having a daughter first, I think is harder than having a son. And I think vice versa for some people if they have a boy first. You know what I mean? Because my daughter is 20, she'll be 27, and my son is 11.
Really? You
Yes.
27.
Oh, thank you.
Ain't she look good? That's my genes.
Oh, here
Yeah.
we go.
So
Of course you gotta play.
it's harder having raising a girl. You know what I mean? Saying it's hard. And for my son, I think we get along. We cool. He like one of my homies. You know what I'm saying?
And that's how it is.
And my daughter hates it. because she's like, oh, you was this way with me, and now you
that's
with
what I
this
do to my
other
mom,
boy,
'cause
you
she
know
babies
what
my
I'm
sister.
saying? Yeah.
But
So-
y'all see what we got. So y'all got this. Y'all like this episode. Y'all was good. Regrets. Now we embraced ours. All y'all out there, y'all got to embrace yours. Don't let it define y'all. Don't let it make it who you be. Move on. Grow in that joint. Glow in that joint. And be the best you can be in that shit. We'll see y'all next week for the mid-season finale of Everybody's Talking About It. Episode 6 is going down. See you. Boom. Bang. Ah.